Hello and welcome to another Daily Digest video. I am Merriam and today I got a weird one. It's a Kiki Chord deck, as you might be able to guess from this hand, but rather than the typical acceleration creatures that you see, Noble Hierarch, a lot of birds, there are a couple copies of Birds of Paradise in this deck, but not many. This deck is using a lot of walls. We got Overgrown Battlement, Axebane Guardian, Wall of Omens, other cool walls, Carven Caryatid. We're just going to try to wall people to death. I don't know how it's really going to work out, but we're going to try. And our opponent has lost the die roll. We won the die roll. That's good. But this hand is not good. Very slow. No early mana. No walls. We need more walls. So I'm going to mulligan. And this hand has lots of walls, so it's great. So I'm going to keep this one. And ooh, birds is an interesting one. So if we keep the bird, we can go turn 2 Wall of Roots, play bird, and then turn 3 have 4 mana, play Wall of Omens, Overgrown Battlement, and then start courting for things. Alternatively, I can play turn 2 Battlement, turn 3 Wall of Omens, tap Battlement for 2 green, play Wall of Roots. But that line is really dependent on this battlement doing something, or being able to tap for mana, it not dying. So already got 4 pieces of mana in this hand. I think I'm willing to take the risk of battlement living, so I don't really want to flood. So I'm going to bottom the bird, and I guess I'll play the foothills. If my opponent's a burn deck, I'm going to want to fetch this anyway, even though it shuffles the bird back in, just so I can get a shock land tapped. See what our opponent is up to. And nothing. Our opponent is playing nothing. Polluted Delta. Sure. You got it. Could mean a whole host of things. Basic Island. This seems like a combo deck now, so not sure if that's going to be Storm or... I guess it's unlikely to be an ad nauseam deck. They usually don't have fetch lands, so I'm going to say Storm. And they have split the 2 on the scry. And we got the old Moto. Drawing the card, we scry to the bottom. Did I misclick or did I just get motoed? Yeah, I scry to the bottom. Now it might just be best to play these 2 anyway. I'm gonna get a Sacred Foundry just to diversify my mana the most. If my opponent's a combo deck, if they're Storm, I don't expect this battlement to die, and I can play all 3 of these other things next turn anyway, and I preserve a counter on Wall of Roots, so I'm just going to run the battlement out anyway. My opponent was more likely to be a removal-heavy deck. If they were a Fatal Push deck, I think I would have gone with the Wall Bird plan. Another Serum Visions. See what they do with the scry. And bottom, good. Bottom again, yes. Ooh, maybe they are fatal pushing me. No, Suspended Ancestral, okay. Well, I mean, they're definitely not a combo deck now. I did recently feature a blue-black control deck that has 1,000,000 Damnations, which would be a really bad time for us. But let's keep going anyway. Scavenging Ooze is not great. Not sure what I want to chord for here on the next turn, but I guess I will now tap for 2 green, play bird, and just play Scavenging Ooze. I don't really think I need the Wall of Roots in play. but Ooze is not particularly good. So I have 3, 5, 7 mana I can Chord for 4, 5 if I play the Ooze next turn. Whereas Wall of Roots I can Chord for 1,000,000. I don't. The only thing that costs more than 5 in my deck though is Elish Norn, which I don't think is good here. So I'm just gonna play the Scavenging Ooze, and I guess we can hold up this Chord for Dauntless Escort in case our opponent has Damnation. Okay, just a Grixis control deck. Yeah, that's pretty good. Definitely going to discard the wall. And we drew Eternal Witness, which is kind of nice. So now I am 3. I can only Chord for 4, which gets me Restoration Angel to blink wall and draw a card. Or I could Chord for Magus of the Moon, but our opponent has a basic island in play. That still might be really good. We can operate pretty effectively through the Magus, and then just Eternal Witness back the Chord, then set up to get Restoration Angel with the second Chord, blink Eternal Witness, get back Chord, get Kiki Chord, win. So there's a little bit of a slower plan, but it has a disruptive element built in, which I like. So yeah, why don't we go with that? Let's tap this for green. Green. Use that green. And sure, Chord for 3. Magus of the Moon. And see how our opponent likes that. They might just bolt our Magus, but I like the idea of getting some disruption in, and I think these decks are moving away from Bolt and toward Fatal Push, and it prevents Cryptic Command from being an issue. We don't really have a lot of disruptive elements, so we have to go with what we have. Our opponent bottom topped off that Serum Visions. Ancestral is still on 2, right? Yep. So we look good to set these. Oh man, they had a Bolt. Okay. Well, that Bolt was going to stop Kiki Chord anyway, so I'm not super sad. Ooh. Well then. So here I can get back Chord, which I like. And then I can Chord for only 2, but I have this Exarch that is threatening to kill my opponent, basically, if they tap out to do a bunch of stuff. So now am I short? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, I still have 8 for the Chord after the Exarch comes in. That's fine. They have another Bolt. That's another removal spell that's not going towards Kiki Chord, although we can tap down their 1 red source. So I could resolve the Exarch right now, but I don't think that really gets us anywhere. I am definitely going to go for it before this vision comes off. Not thrilled with that. Not thrilled with that at all. Ooh. I am happier with this. Yes, tap. Okay. Are we K-commanding? Oh, that would be kind of a tilt. If they K-command here, then we're going to be a card short. Now we can play the Exarch, but we're going to lose the Chord. And then we'd untap with 1, 2, 3, 4, only 7 mana, so even a top decked Chord would not be able to find Kiki Chord. Or we can pitch the Exarch and untap and Chord for 3. And unfortunately, a Chord for 3 just doesn't really do a lot. Chord for 3, get like Dauntless Escort or Carven Caryatid. I guess I can hold up the Chord for 3 and try to Spell Queller this Ancestral, which is probably our best bet. But if our opponent just has a Cryptic Command or something, we're in rough shape. But that's true regardless. Okay, at least I have a plan. Now I can Chord for 4. Yep. And we will pray our opponent is not sitting on much else. Cast. Chord for 3. Well, that's kind of cool. Probably just have another removal spell, but I have a Glimmer of Hope. Just a small glimmer. The faintest. Well, the glimmer is gone. Now it's all darkness. Nothing but pain, misery, suffering. We will probably see some sort of threat here. Tasigur would be my guess. You heard it here first, folks. They're putting me to the test. He wants to snap bolt my Wall of Omens, cut me off some mana. Sure. Fine trading this bolt. Oh, well, called their bluff successfully. Great. Ugh. Well, at least I drew a brick. And I say, yeah, they could have Kolaghan's commanded there, but that doesn't really do anything. It's better to get my draw step. Sure, take 4. We're going to need some good draws here. What is this? Oh, they're just activating. Okay. I guess I'll give them a second Tasker because I don't really plan on removing the first one. So there you go. Want to play a second one? Suspense and Ancestral plays a land. That's pretty good. Our draw step was not. Let's hope to tag their Creeping Tar Pit here, so I'll just pass. They have enough mana that attacking with the Tar Pit makes a lot of sense. And we'll really get them. Shocking themselves. No! I need that to cast my spells. Oh, not even attacking with Tar Pit. Well, no point BK returning then. Ugh, come on. Now I have to look all embarrassed when I path this Tasigur and they play another one. Got like 2 Tasigurs in the deck. Or 2 paths, I mean. There you go. I look like an idiot. Could have just given them a bolt. Not sure what we can draw to get back into this game. This version of the Kiki Chord deck does not have the density of sticky threats that are good in attrition matchups like this, and we really have not found the juicy cards. I probably shouldn't have played that bird, actually. There's a good chance my opponent attacks with Tar Pit this turn just to force some blocks. Well, I guess we can give them a lightning bolt. And we are very dead. I'm not even going to continue wasting everyone's time. No way we come back from that. So, how do we sideboard in this matchup? I like this giant Elspeth, just big planeswalker. I don't like this Hellish Norn. Eidolon Rhetoric is kind of cool against Snapcaster, but that's it. This can't be good. I don't even know what this card is supposed to be here for. Sigarda, giant flying hexproof creature. This could be good. They're not really making us sack anything. It's just a big flying hexproof creature against a deck with a lot of spot removal. That's probably still good enough. Because I definitely don't want this K return either. Want to keep all my mana. The couple paths are pretty good. This Perimeter Captain seems really poor too. It's possible I want Chalice of the Void as casted on 1. Stops Lightning Bolt, potential spell snares. It stops Serum Visions. Fatal Push. These Chalices seem like they could be quite good. This deck is so low on 1 mana spells now. Maybe I don't want Magus of the Moon. Chalice does defend it well, which is nice. But our opponents saw it in game 1, so they're likely to play around it here in the post-board games. Alternatively, I could just bring out this Dauntless Escort. I don't think our opponent's playing any sweepers, so it's just sort of a trained Armadon that can occasionally stop a removal spell. Don't think that's too relevant. I will choose to play, and definitely mulliganing this very landlight hand. Sand is okay. We get to play Spellskite into Axebane Guardian, maybe Magus our opponent. Definitely needs more mana, but I'll keep. Gonna bottom a 4-drop. Play this tapped, and oof. There is a price to turning your 1 mana creatures into 3 mana creatures. Especially ones that still die to Lightning Bolt, but hopefully our Spellskite insulates us from Lightning Bolt a little bit. Chord, another mana intensive draw. So really just want to draw land this turn. Fatal Pushing our Spellskite. Maybe a Serum Visions. Okay, Suspend Ancestral. That's fine. Tilt. Yeah. Really need more lands. Oh, they do a Fatal Push for a Spellskite too. Well, they found their basic swamp. Play around this Magus. This isn't going great. Tassiger? Oh no. Okay, well, one piece of good news: we found a 3rd land, and our opponent doesn't have any red mana. I think they might have they could have aggressively found the swamp because of Magus, but I doubt it. Thought Scour themselves again. Didn't really hit anything interesting, and wow, they don't have lands either. This is starting to turn around. I could Magus here, or I can Axebane. There's an issue with casting Magus in that if my opponent has a kill spell for Axebane Guardian, they could lock us under our own Magus. But I think they would have killed the Guardian on their turn if they had one. And our opponent is likely to have red cards locked up in their hand anyway. We might actually be helping them out by playing the Magus, so I think I will just play second Axebane, keep developing my mana, and pass the turn. See where should be on, yeah, 1, okay. Basic island. Well, still no red mana for them, but now they can cast a Cryptic Command, which is definitely a thing. Interesting, I have 8 mana, access to 8 mana now. I could Magus and then have access to a Chord for 3, which is pretty cool, actually, because that Spellcrawler is the Ancestral. I do want to start double spelling, but it's not like if I double spell this turn, I can double spell again next turn. Maybe I can, actually. If I get 2 more creatures into play, next turn I can play Sigarda and then have 2, 3 with 3 creatures, another Chord for 3, which is nothing to sneeze at. I can start just getting Eternal Witness or yeah, just get Eternal Witness and start the chain. So I think I'm going to Magus here. That resolves. Okay, let's cast our Chord. This is going to make green. Yeah, let's make a bunch of green. Make more green. Green, green, green. Green, green, green. And colorless. Chord for 3. Okay. It's going to get remanded. Dispel. Till. Well, that's not great. That's not great for us. But if our opponent doesn't find a bolt for this Magus, well, that's embarrassing. Very embarrassing. Gave our opponent all the red mana so they could anger us. Yeah. Yeah. Just embarrassing. Gonna Chord for 1 here, try to get a bird, and then cast the Sigarda. But with an opponent on 1,000,000 cards in their hand, I'm not super confident that's going to work out too well. Yeah. Likely just playing Tasker here with a Cryptic up, and it's not looking good. Not looking good at all. Magus of the Moon into Anger of the Gods. Getting Snapcaster dispelled. That's I'm actually fine with. This takes down potential Cryptic Command mana. And Sigarda is going to be good. We need. Oh man, for some reason I thought this was a green, green, white. This should have found a white source, if it could have. I don't know if there's another Temple Guard in the deck. Oh man. Okay. Well, we have a basic Plains. There is only one Temple Garden, so so we can cast. I'm gonna go for it. This seems like the worst land. Yeah, it has to be. So I'll float a red, Ghost Quarter my mountain. Yes. Find the plains. Last chance. Does this work? Did we do it? We did it! Oh man. We have a small chance of winning now. Sigarda is so big. I don't know exactly when we start attacking with it, because our opponent has Tasker, Snapcaster, and 2 Creeping Tar Pits, but Sigarda is really big. That's hard to deal with. So you're telling me there's a chance? Yep, they're just gonna start bashing with Tar Pits. Fortunately, I had to use Ghost Quarter. I do have another Ghost Quarter in the deck. I can only cord for 2 here. And a cord for 2 finds nothing good. Wall Omens probably. Scavenging Ooze would gain a life with the Snapcaster, but it doesn't. None of that blocks Tassiger. I could get Wall of Roots, and that would block Tasker and let me trade 5 damage from Sigarda for 2 from Snapcaster. But that is also assuming my opponent has nothing. A land, and they get to activate Tar Pits and attack me for 6. So this Sacred Foundry then doesn't look too appealing, bringing me to 12. I don't know what lets me start attacking. I attack them to 11. I go to 12. I get Wall of Roots. My opponent's on all lands. I block Tasker, take 8, go to 4. I untap, attack them for 5. They go to 6. And suddenly I have to block Tasker and deal with 2 of the other creatures my opponent is attacking with. And I don't see a card on my deck that lets me do that. I guess actually Eternal Witness would. I get Eternal Witness back, a Ghost Quarter 1 Tar Pit, block the other one. And then I would still have to find a way to deal an extra point of damage. It would have to be Kiki Chord as a 2/2 haste creature, but I don't have triple red. I guess I could just find another, like keep finding Eternal Witnesses. Yeah, that seems like as good a plan as any. I can't just sit back and do nothing because I'm just going to die to Tar Pits, so I definitely have to start attacking. Pass the turn. The awkward pass to being nearly dead on board with 1 card in hand. Yeah, that'll probably do it. This is another lightning bolt. I wonder what happens in this game if I don't play Magus. Eventually, we get angered. Our opponent found red sources. We're probably only 2 turns away from that anyway. But I don't know. Maybe I have another shot if I can cord for more impactful threats before the anger. Or land the Sigarda earlier. Yeah, this is getting countered. Not surprised. Out of 3, probably get snap bolted here, just bolted. Yeah, there's a Snapcaster. Okay. Well, not the most impressive of showings for a deck. Not the most surprising of showings, given that we've turned a bunch of 1 mana creatures into 3 mana creatures, but Wall of Omens and Carven Caryatid are sweet. Get to draw a bunch of cards. But yeah, Axebane Guardian just not quite on the level of Noble Hierarch. Perhaps as a budget build of this deck, this works, because Noble is definitely one of the more expensive cards. It would make sense if that was the impetus for this list, but just too slow to get off the ground against a removal-heavy opponent especially. But hope you enjoyed seeing me getting stomped. I'm sure that was fun for some of you, but you can come back and see me on whatever the next day is. Wednesday? It's Wednesday, I think. I think this is a Monday. So the next one's a Wednesday because it's every other day. Bye.